I grew up in North Little Rock, Arkansas, and it was a very close-knit community, and we had whites and blacks in that area not living too far apart. So we interacted with each other regularly, not too closely, but regularly. We knew each other. Our schools were totally segregated. As a matter of fact, integration only started in my senior year. Well, the challenge started in my senior year. That's when, after Brown versus Board of Education, when 57 hit and Mrs. Bates and the Little Rock Nine started their movement on Central High School, things started changing because it started now bringing more attention to this segregated attitude that many had, but it wasn't overt, it was subtle. But this brought it where everybody became super conscious of it, and prior to that, you really didn't think about it that much. I was very close with Mrs. Bates, and I'd end up having an opportunity really to sit by her knees on the floor, literally, when she would be strategizing on what she was going to do, and I got a chance to hear that. I got in radio at that time, my senior year in high school. My English literature teacher at Jones High School, Mrs. Robinson, started calling me while I was working at the radio station, saying to me, Alvertis, you need to get involved with Reverend Martin Luther King. She just insisted. She said, you got to go and spend time with Reverend Martin Luther King and then make up your mind as to whether or not you want to be involved with him. But I think, Alvertis, that you need to be involved with him. And I'm going to put you in touch with him and let you talk to him. Okay, Ms. Robinson. Doggone it. Next thing I knew, after a brief, and I don't even remember what we talked about, after a brief conversation on the phone at Mrs. Robinson's house with Dr. King. God, I forgot about that. I'm on my way, before I know it, to Midway, Georgia. And in Midway, Georgia is where Dr. King had set up the SCLC leadership workshops. I got very, very much involved, and it grew out of, one, my equal rights attitude and desire, and my respect for him. And on one occasion, we had a march there in Savannah, Georgia. As we marched, there was a guy, I guess about 6'2", somewhere in that neighborhood on the to my left, and he was using all kinds, looking at me, using all kinds of words. You nigga, yeah, I mean, just on and on, everything you could think of. Well, that was fine, because words and stuff like that, I'd hear them, but they never bothered me. They didn't. And as we got closer to him, he went about 3 or 4 feet away and spit on me. Well, that did it. I was in my pocket and out with my switchblade knife, which I carried, and off amongst those people going after this gentleman, and which I wasn't supposed to do. And we end up going back to Midway, and Doc came and sat down and talked to me. He said, you violated cardinal rule. You broke up that march and you created a problem. And your action disturbed me, Alvertis. You pulled that knife out and went after this man with that knife. And what I'm about is passive resistance. And you know that, so I don't know why. And what are you doing with that knife anyway? That's a problem. So I said, well, Reverend King, I understand what you're saying, but I can't let anybody take advantage of me like that. And that man spit on me, and I just couldn't take that. He said, but you got to take that, and you should not have that knife. It's wrong. And you know enough about the Bible, and based on my passive resistance movement in our fight for civil rights, we are going to have to allow people to spit on us, dogs to bite us. They're gonna hang us. Many of us are gonna be killed, and we're gonna have to go through that. So I said, all right, Doc, I understand. After his murder here in Memphis, Tennessee, I felt him, and as I sit now speaking to you, I feel him living in me now. And I have been about the passive resistance movement and the equal rights movement, not civil rights, the equal rights movement that was really in Dr. King. And I will, when this spirit leaves this body, then it will have left. But until then, Dr. King lives on in me.